welcome to the Memory Lane 80s show on Spotlight TV. I'm Hayley Palmer and great to have you here with me tonight because we have got an extra special guest for you. Oh yes, it's Hazell Dean. Here is what happened when I caught up with her. Hazell Dean, it's great to have you on the show.
Well, what can I say? It's taken me so long to get here. Well, hey!
It was worth waiting for. We are delighted to have you on the Memory Lane 80s show. You're the high-energy queen, and we want to thank you because we play your songs a lot.
Well, it's lovely to be here, and thank you for playing my songs.
Yeah. How's lockdown been for you?
Yeah, not so bad really. It's all a matter of having a routine, I think. So right from the word go, we decided, right, we're going to have a structure to our days. Because it's too easy just to sort of watch box sets and drink tea and things all day. So we have a structure.
Absolutely.
And
I like that. Joe Wicks, first of all.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't do Joe Wicks.
Oh,
but
okay.
Stevie does, and Becky and Stevie do Joe Wicks every morning. They've even got the T-shirts. But it's great though. It's great. It's great for Stevie. But I do exercise. But I do stretchings. I do stretching
every morning. Good for you.
Yeah, especially for my legs.
Yeah.
As I'm a lady of a certain age who need to get that stretching going.
Well, you're looking fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Now we're going to play out your song, my favourite, Who's Leaving Who. I like to sing this full blast. Oh, it's a
have a go, classic. Sing along with it.
Oh, Hazell, no, you don't understand. I'm tone deaf.
Okay.
It's not good. You'd be so horrified. I was wondering, how do I get a voice like yours? Because you're an absolute vocal powerhouse.
Years of singing, my darling.
I need to keep practicing.
Yeah,
okay.
Keep practicing. You'll get there.
I will do. Well, Angeli says you've really made her summer of 1988 with this song. Here it is, number 4 in 1988. Hazell Dean, Who's Leaving Who? Check this out.
Is it me? Is it you?
Now, Hazel, let's rewind. How did it all start for you? Because I think you always knew that you wanted to be a singer, didn't you?
Yeah, from a very early age.
And you played the guitar?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm going to say. I actually started off playing the guitar. I learned to play the guitar from about 11 years on. There were guitar lessons at my school, after school guitar lessons. And and it felt like the whole school were crammed into this little classroom with their guitars. But after 2 or 3 weeks, you know, it all sort of thinned out, and there was probably about 3 or 4 of us left. But that's basically. But even, to be honest with you, even before that, I was always, I loved anything to do with pop music. I loved it wasn't Top of the Pops in those days, but anything, Ready Steady Go, all that kind of stuff. I was always mesmerised by it. I love the Beatles. I love all those people in the 60s. I adored them. All those bands, the Hollies, the Rolling Stones. Beatles have always been my favourites. Dusty Springfield, Cilla Black was a big fan. So, you know, I loved all that time anyway. So when they started these guitar lessons, I thought, yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. So it's kind of started from there. And I had a fantastic music teacher as well, and I discovered that I was really good. I had a natural sense of rhythm. I was good. So yeah, that's kind of
good, because I got given the trumpet at school, Hazel.
And what happened for you?
Well, my mum said keep the noise down.
Well, yeah, trumpet's a bit tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I wanted the clarinet or the flute, something nice, you know, but never mind. But also wanted to say that back in the 70s, you were in bands with Trevor Horn. Is that right?
Well, yes, I mean, not necessarily. Well, yeah, I did work with Trevor Horn a few times, because he was we used to work in a lot of big bands, and he used to be the bass player, and we used to sort of do different bands, more towards mid to late 70s, and yeah, Trevor was in. I mean, I remember travelling on coaches with Trevor a few times, and even in those days, he was very experimental. He loved being in studios, and you know, however he could get in a studio, he would get in a studio and, you know, experiment. And there was a singer around in those days called Tina Charles, and he got involved with Tina. She did, I forgot the song that she did, but Dance Little Lady Dance, but she had a bigger hit than that, but it's gone totally out of my mind. But he was very involved. Like, it is the heat, yeah. It's all the stress of it all. But she, yeah, you have or I have. I've got water and tea, but I might have to go into the Prosecco in a minute. Anyway,
don't blame you, Hazel. Go for it.
But Trevor was always experimenting, even back in the 70s. But yes, I did work in a few bands with Trevor in the day, and we always got on very well, and we had giggles, and, you know, it was good.
Amazing stuff. Well, your next song, Turn It Into Love, from 1988. I have mastered the dance routine to this, Hazel.
Have you, darling? Have you?
Yeah.
Turn it into love.
That's it. And then it's the dramatic bits, isn't it?
Oh, so, I'm very good at dramatic bits. Always have been.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too, Hazel. So we're going to check out this. Join in at home. Let's check it out. Now, Hazel, I want to talk to you about Stock, Aitken and Waterman, because how did that all come about for you?
Really? Fancy that. Well, back in 1984, I had a little record in the charts at number 6 called Searching, which was written and produced by a guy called Ian Anthony Stevens. We were on a little tiny record label called Proto Records, a little independent label. And there we were, sitting at number 6, and I hadn't got a follow-up, to be honest. And I have worked with Pete Waterman before that project. I'd worked with him on a couple of other projects.
Oh, yes.
But I went into Proto Records this particular day and said, basically say, like, what's happening with my career? What's happening with the next thing?
Yeah.
And there was Pete Waterman.
Uh-huh.
And Pete Waterman said to me, what's happening then, kid? Because he calls everybody kid.
I can imagine him saying that.
And he still does, yeah. And I said, well, it's... I said, I'm sitting at number 6 in the charts, Peter, as you well know. I said, and I do not, at this point in time, I don't have a follow-up. So he said, come and meet these 2 new guys I'm working with, because he was doing a project with Proto Records.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I mean, talk about fate and, you know, luck and the whole thing. So I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, Mike and Matt. He said, I'm come down to the studio in a couple of days. We're at the Marquee. and we've got this backing track, which again was for Proto Records. And so I went down a couple of days later, and I walked into the studio, the Marquee Studio, which was a fantastic studio in London, and I heard this backing track. Oh, it was fantastic, and it was the backing track to Divine. I Think You're a Man.
Wow.
I Think You're a Man, and I heard this backing track, and I said, "Oh my God, that's fantastic! Yes, that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want." And it was, to be honest, that was the start of it. And then they said, "Well, they send me a song." So again, they went off. Well, there was a track they already had. They thought would be good for me, and it was called "Dance Your Love Away," and it was the verse of Whatever I Do as you hear it now, but it was a different chorus. So, and it was called Dance Your Love Away. So they sent me the song, and I listened to it. Great, fantastic verse, but the chorus kind of didn't take off. It just wasn't right. So I said, well, I love the verse. I said, but is there something wrong with that chorus? It doesn't explode. It doesn't go where, I was expecting it to be something fabulous. So they said, no worries. So they went off. They demoed another song with another female vocalist. Another few days went by. Back came the song, and I heard the chorus of Whatever I Do as We Know and Love It Today. And I said, fabulous. And no word, we turned that record round so fast. Being on a little independent, you could back in those days.
Yeah.
And as searching was going down, Whatever I Do went out, and it was fantastic. And that was their first top 5 record.
Hey, love it.
See?
Love that.
Yay! And there you go.
That's Love Pains next, if that's all right with you, Hazel. Now, I've got to say, your figure in this dress, in this video, is a 10 out of 10. I do not want to touch another Jaffa cake again, because I look at it and I'm like, wow, she looks incredible.
I know, I was incredibly thin. I mean, I only weighed about sort of 8.5 stone then.
God.
I'm actually, when I say that, I'm only a stone heavier now, but
no, you've got the figure to pull this
got
off,
the look.
honestly. She's got it.
I got
Check this out. It's Love Pains by Hazel T. Here we go. Now, Hazel, we've got a little 80s quiz for you, if that's all right, here on the Memory Lane 80s show. So, here we go. Quick fire round. Best memory from the 80s.
Well, of course, that's really hard. So I'm going to tell you, the thing that instantly comes to mind is from 1983 until 1991, I toured America every year for about a month. And they're some of my most fantastic memories.
Oh, I love America, yes.
Yeah. Because when I used to arrive, and there'd always be a great stretch limo. And, I mean, they so went over the top. And you get in the back, and the champagne and the whole,
and that sounds like the dream.
Oh,
yes.
it was.
I live with that.
And we would always, I mean, it was hard work. I'd be flying all over the place, and but I had such a ball. And we would always, we'd always end up in Florida. The last shows would be in Florida. The first one would be in Fort Lauderdale, and there were 2 clubs. They were called the Copa. So there was the Copa in Fort Lauderdale. I'd do that first, and then I would go down to Key West, and
nice.
And I'd stay there for a week or so and just chill out, and then come home.
What we would do to be in Florida
The best
now.
times. Great.
Brilliant. Best thing a fan gave you from the 80s.
I've got it right here.
Wow. Okay.
1984.
Yeah.
And this used to hang on my mum's wall. My mum and dad. I mean, Mum died in 2015, but they had this, and I've got this now. And it's a watercolor by Michael Palmer, and that was from 1984. Can you see it?
Yes, I can. Oh wow.
So I gave it to my parents, and then I've kept it. We have it hanging up at home here now.
Lovely.
So that's my favourite. It's so good. He's got it it's really good. So that's my favourite one. Yeah.
Good shout. Best outfit from the 80s.
Well, I was just saying about Love Pains and the clothes. My favourite jackets were from that time, but my favourite ones of all, and I did wear one on top of the pops. And it was a company called La Rocca.
Right.
And I used to have these fantastic little leather jackets with loads of detail on. And
I like that.
they were all my favourite thing. That was one of my favourites. Big earrings, big hair.
Not like
Right.
mine right now. It's falling
Oh no, look at
flat
mine.
in the heat.
I know.
And the thing that you wish you could bring back from the 80s?
Oh, what to bring back from the 80s?
I want to bring Top of the
My
Pops
youth.
back.
My youth. All those
You've got
fabulous
an energy,
times.
though.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Now the next song we're going to play is "They Say It's Going to Rain."
Oh, yeah.
Now I believe you filmed this in Malta. To be honest, Hazel, it just looks like you're having a really good, jolly holiday
did.
here. Oh,
That-
did you?
I did. We were there for a week, and I'm not kidding. We had the best week. I
It
had
looks like you did.
We did. We went to the fiesta and the bits where we're doing the fiesta. No, I had a ball. It was such good fun. Great crew, a fantastic crew, and the guy who plays
Yeah, I
my
was wondering
boyfriend.
that.
Oh no, he was an actor, obviously. That was my acting debut, by the way. And
Very good.
and we used to just, when we were doing like scenes where he's putting the sun cream on, we would just sort of talk to each other, and we'd be talking a very posh accent, and it would make us laugh. And so we had lots of fun. We just had a ball.
It really looks like you were having the best time. I'm so jealous.
The
We're
worst
gonna
bit
check
was
out-
when I got pushed in the swimming pool. Apart from that, I was away.
You handled it well. We're going to check out the
did.
video. Here is Hazeltine on her holiday. They say it's going to rain. 1985. Here we go.
Hey!
Now, Hazel, what's coming up for you next? We want more of Hazel Dean.
Right, okay. Well, obviously, I'm not doing any live shows at the moment, but
Yeah.
all my stuff that I'm doing, and I've got everything's been postponed till next year, and I've got loads of stuff. I've got a festival a tour coming up, and all sorts of things. So live work next year, because I just I can't stand in front of a live audience and sing.
of
There's
course.
so
Yeah.
many things. You've
Yeah.
got lots of people standing there
Yeah,
breathing, and no, so that's
Yeah.
out the question.
yeah, of course.
But earlier this year, I had my first album that I had out back in 1984, which was called Heart First. I don't know if you've heard of a record company called Cherry Pop.
Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, they do. I mean, I've worked with them before, but they seem to have really sort of come on. And anyway, they put a deluxe package, box set together of that album with bonus tracks, and they did some remixes of the title track Heart First, which is a great song. We actually charted in the national charts, in album chart. We went up to number 27. So we were really pleased. I am going to do another project with them, but obviously we won't be doing it this year because of stuff that's going. But we're going to be doing that next year. I'm really excited about this one because it's lots of things. It's almost it's going to be a big box set with a lot of stuff on it.
Brilliant.
Going from very early times. So I'm very excited about that, and we're going to record some new stuff as well. So that's exciting, and and also I'm going to be doing, because I have been doing stuff with although I'm not doing it now, but I've been with a little label called HI-NRG Records.
Right.
It's a small label, but I made some really good albums with them, and it's very fan based, because I've got I've got a big fan base.
Yeah, huge fan base, yeah.
That's what it was all about. But there's another project I might be doing with them, but it's some tracks that I recorded with Ian Anthony Stevens that wrote and produced Searching, and they're songs that we wrote together, but they were never released.
Right.
So that's a possibility as well. So recording wise, there are some things going on. So
Absolutely. Well, we will keep following you and keep us posted on what's going on.
But look out!
We will. We will definitely.
For all the festivals and things, because that's my main thing really, is my live show.
Yeah,
so
we're so there. We're so there. Now, the next song we're going to play is Maybe from 1988. So catchy. Isn't it? Just really catchy.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to play out that song. But Hazel Dean, thank you so much for bearing with me. You can go and have a glass of Prosecco now.
We got there in the end, didn't we, darling?
We did, Hazel.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant to have you on the show. It's Hazel Dean, everyone.
Thanks for inviting me. Bye.
Oh, we've now come to the end of the Memory Lane 80s show. Thank you so much for joining me this evening and your feedback. You know I love hearing from you. Details are on the screen below, and if you haven't got in contact, why not? Great to hear from you. And a huge thank you to the lovely Hazell Dean. Just fantastic on tonight's show. Now remember, I will definitely see you same time, same place next week. Stay safe and I'll see you then.